This is a leech, and this is the human embryo, about 23 days. I think you have to agree that the similarity between these structures is amazing.
The key word in both is al-ghaib. At this stage is known to no one except Allah.
The rapid growth and dramatic changes which occur after the bones have been clothed by muscles have been mentioned in the Holy Qur'an.
And the mountains hath he firmly fixed. Similar mention of mountains is found in several other surahs. It is permissible to interpret this to imply that mountains are rooted and that modern geophysics has established deep crustal roots for the axial parts of mountain systems at converging plate boundaries, that God transmitted through Muhammad bits of his knowledge that we have only discovered for ourselves.
Peace of Christ to all. As you see in this video, a bunch of lies they are trying to fool people with. This is a conference, Islamic conference. They invited those scientists and they told them there's a big gift for those who will join and for those who will show something about science in the Quran. And none of those scientists who they are in this program became a Muslim. If all of them they found that Allah is a great God, the Quran is from God, how come none of them decide to join Islam? Ask yourself why. Because simply it's just a bunch of lies. They are saying what they are saying so they can get a check from Saudi Arabia. Now let us prove everything they say that it is false. Very easy. The first one he speak about, he said this is the leash and this is the human embryo. How Muhammad knew that the human embryo is going to be hanged up as a leech? Actually, the Quran doesn't say that. Let us see what the Quran say. This is what the Quran say, and this is how we can expose the liars who they are willing to say anything for the sake of money. Read with me, please. It says, we made the sperm into a clot. So the sperm will turn to be a clot. And the word alaqa in here, in Arabic, alaqa, is not the one they are trying to fool you as a leash. Alaqa in here is the dead blood, not the worm or the insect, whatever you call it. You see how they fool people? They say to them, oh, alaqa, do you know that alaqa is an insect? It's a worm, the one who sucks blood and will hang itself in you? No, the word alaqa in here is the dead blood. This is what the Quran is saying. You see how they fool people, they lie to people. The sperm will transfer into a clot. Clot of what? Concluded blood. Is that my translation? No. This is a translation of Yusuf Ali. And this is the official government of Saudi Arabia. So the sperm will transfer to be a clot, a concluded blood. This is false. There is nowhere in all science, any time, it says that the sperm will transfer into something else. This is a big fat lie. The sperm will fertilize the egg and is going to die in less than 24 hours after that. It's going to disappear. The sperm will never transform to anything else. The one will grow is the egg, and the egg is not a blood. Then of the clot we made a fetus, lump. The word fetus there, by the way, does not exist. In here it says the clot is going to transfer into mudgha. Then we made out of the lump bones. Actually in here you will see they are saying the following, just to explain to you what they mean by the clot is going to transfer to a completed blood. Let us see. This is not my interpretation. This is Jalalain and this is their Islamic website. We transform the drop of semen into a clot. Here we go. Blood again, completed blood. Then we transfer the clot into a little lump, a flesh, mudgha, a piece of a flesh. So the blood will turn to be a piece of flesh. And the funny in here, this is a clot, which is a dead blood, and dead blood don't grow, don't do anything. And as I said, a human being will never be a blood in any time, any period of his creation. And the blood itself would transform to be a flesh. This is very false. And then he says at the end, and they close him with bones. And we will see the Indian scientist, who himself even not a Muslim, saying how God knew that the bones is going to be closed like this. Let me show you how God knows. This is the Bible, the Old Testament, Job chapter number 10. And you will see in here Muhammad is just stealing from the Bible, and this is what the Bible says. Hast thou not poured me out as milk, and curdle me like cheese. Thou hast clothed me with the skin and flesh, and hast fenced me with bones and snow. So it is from the Bible. This is what he is cutting. He is not even making his own. This is something written long. Do you know what the difference between the Job and Muhammad? Thousands of years before Muhammad. So who is the thief in here? Simply he took those verses from here and he's trying to play with it, and this is why they look very stupid, very funny. But this is the accurate thing, as you see. And you will see in the Quran, Muhammad is saying that Allah, he created first the bones, then he clothed it with the muscles. This is false. This is false. All the stages will work together. This is what the verse in the Bible in here is saying. This is why there is no mistake in here. In the Quran, there is a big mistake. Because the Quran says, as you see in here, that the blood became the fetus, and then he made the fetus bones, and then he closed the bones. This is false. This is very stupid, actually, to say. Imagine when you are a baby, the first thing you became is bones. This is extremely stupid. So those are not really scientists. Those are trademark businessmen. They went there to make money, and everybody is welcome. And they will use your voice forever to propaganda of Islam. Let us show you how we can expose them. Now let us see how we can prove the lies of those people. This is Muhammad himself explaining how the baby will be created. The book of Sahih Muslim, Kitab al-Qadr, the destiny, because Muslims believe in destiny, which is something very stupid. Because if I am going to be written for me in the book of God, what I'm going to do, he decided for me before even I was born, why I'm going to be in the judgment day standing in front of him, paying for my mistakes when it was his decision. Destiny is one of the most stupid things in Islam. And if you don't believe in destiny in Islam, you cannot be a Muslim. Now look what Muhammad he said. And this is the proof of the lies of those who they are looking after the money of Saudi Arabia. Here we go. Muhammad himself saying that you are collected for 40 days in his mother womb, like when you are a baby, and you in the form of a blood. Is that what science says? That you are in the mother of your by the way, it doesn't say womb in Arabic, it says belly. And when Muslims they translate, they try to make it look better, so they translate the word belly to womb. Muhammad he said belly, not womb. So first, who is the scientist in the world who will accept that you are a blood for 40 days? Not even Dr. Fart will say that. Not even Mrs. Mosquito will say that. Not even Dummy. Who is the one who will say that after another 40 days the blood is going to become a flesh? Is that what science says? And after another 40 days Allah will send his angel, and the angel will write for you your destiny. He will ask Allah, what this kid should be, and Allah he will write your destiny, and if you are going to be bad or good, sad or happy, etc. This is the science of Islam. Let us see more. Maybe the scientists who speak about mountains will explain to me how in the sky there's mountains of hills, and Allah he sent it down from there, from the heaven. Have you ever heard about mountains and hills? I never heard of that. Allah he break it and he sent it down, and he hit with it people who he don't like. Must be very science. Flying mountains as avatar, and they are from hill in the sky. Let us see more. What about the mountain Qaf, which is surrounding the earth from every direction, and this is why the sky is not falling down, and even the sky itself is taking its color from this mountain. Must be a very, very accurate science. Let us see more. The scientists who said that mountains are rooted, this is very funny. According to science, the mountains is coming from the ground. So how you say rooted, you dummy? It's in the ground, from the ground, not from the top. According to Islam, Allah he set it in the top of the earth, not from inside. Another proof, the Quran said that the mountains are tied down like pigeons. The fact, this is a proof of the first point, that Allah he put it down as nails in the ground. And the Muslims they say science proved that those mountains are preventing the earth from moving. Big fat lie. The biggest countries in the world who have mountains is Japan, and they have earthquake every second. Are we finished with this? How about somebody explain to us that the earth was in the top of a whale and his name is Noon, and this Noon, Allah put him in the water and he carried the earth, and the whale is in the top of a bowl, and under the bowl there's a rock, and under the rock there is a dust, and none knows what is under the dust save Allah, and there is 4,000 cracks where the water coming from. Pure science. Thank you, and follow with me.